How are things going? Diversity Masterminds, you two have come together and put together an amazing program. And if you could just give us, our audience, some idea of what Diversity Masterminds is and what you're going to be doing over the next couple months with and in conjunction with Merck.
Sure. So I'll start out telling you about what Diversity Masterminds is, and then I'll let Liz kind of talk about the program we did with Merck. So Diversity Masterminds was an idea that came to me. So my other company, Certify My Company, has been facilitating diversity certifications for about 12 years now, and we've done thousands of them. And within a matter of a couple of years, over and over and over again, we kept hearing our clients come back to us saying they're not going to recertify, or they're only recertifying because they don't want the hassle with doing it again if they ever should need it again, but they haven't gotten anything out of it, so it's useless to them. And after hearing this so many times, I couldn't understand, because I know it, I've seen it firsthand, how effective and powerful the certification can be. It really is an amazing tool if you know how to use it. So I would ask them some questions, some very basic questions. Did they do this? Did they go here? Have they done this? Have they, emailed that person? And they're like, I can do that? I should do that? I didn't even know that was an option. But it was the same over and over again. So I knew there needed to be a solution to help these suppliers understand what their certification really was and could do for them. So I looked and looked and looked, and there was people doing some one-on-one consulting, but there was no one. And there's like the I'm certified now what type courses, but there was nothing for people to do from the comfort of their own homes or offices, because I know I'm a business owner. It's not always so easy just to jump off for a week to go somewhere, to go here and there. So we wanted to make sure it was accessible to everybody at any point in time, regardless of the size or stage of their business. So I couldn't find one. So then I said, well, I'm just going to have to create it, because that's what entrepreneurs do. And I looked around for the perfect person, because I knew I had a certain amount of expertise and skill set, but I didn't have it all. And so I met Liz years ago through her work at WPEODC. So I was thinking, I wonder if she'd be interested in partnering with me on this. And sure enough, she was. And so Diversity Masterminds was born, and it is an 8-part course that teaches certified diverse suppliers how to leverage their national diversity certification.
And another piece of it, one of the pieces that Diversity Masterminds brought to the table that I couldn't do with one-on-one consulting was bringing together a community, a cohort of people, so that I wasn't at the hub of everything. Because if I'm at the hub of everything you need to know, that slows everything down. And
bottleneck.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So we wanted to create something where the business owners that in those cohorts could then be, the support system for each other and trade opportunities and connections and things like that. So,
and as much as Liz and I know, it's so amazing. It's awesome that we'll be in the cohort, and one of the 6 or 8 people, because we keep the groups very small for a reason, will say, oh, hey, I know that person. Or, hey, what really was cool for me? And we're like, yes, that's such a great idea. You have similar synergies in this way. Maybe you could use it too. So we're getting great input from everybody that's involved, which again, you can't get from one-on-one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Liz, tell us now a little bit more about what's going to happen over the next couple months, beginning in just a few weeks, in terms of Merck and what Diversity Mastermind has in mind for this opportunity for a virtual conference.
What the suppliers are going to get is each month they are going to get one of the Diversity Masterminds modules. And it starts with the bonus module, which is business unusual, right? Doing business at unusual times like we're doing now. Pretty amazing opportunity to get a sneak peek of these modules and start their journey to building a roadmap for their certification success.
And that's really important, because a lot of people are joining the organizations and they don't really have any type of roadmap or idea as to how they're going to make it work for them, how to justify this new engagement, all these new people, and all the follow-up that's required to really get to some type of business development, because honestly, that's what it's all about. So I think it's pretty amazing that the companies, big brands like Merck are seeing that there's a need for this education, and they're putting it front and foremost, and putting it out there and offering folks at least the opportunity to engage virtually. So these are pre-recorded modules.
Oh, yes. And they are kind of snippets, they're tastes of what you get in the course, because again, you don't get that interaction, you don't get the feedback, you don't get the unique, customized answers to the questions that are specific to someone's business or relationship with a specific supplier diversity manager. And we also talk a lot about, in addition to the business development, which is huge, the company development, the leadership development that supplier diversity programs offer to entrepreneurs and their teams. And so you get a little bit of that in the recorded ones, but the live ones are where like the good meat is.
That brings me to the next question. And I really have two burning questions before we end this conversation. One of them is in terms of metrics. How will Merck know that they've been successful at trying to bring this education to the diverse suppliers? And what are they looking at to see if, yes, this was a good idea? And then for the potential suppliers in there, how are they going to know? What should they be looking for to feel like, yes, I've achieved my goal in terms of a metric? Have you given some thought to that?
So I think in terms of what Merck is going to see is they're going to see suppliers that are prepared, that are coming to them and they have a differentiator. They know what Merck does and where they fit in. And they're going to help the supplier diversity people to help them. Help me to help you. People are going to come to Raul and Cheryl and say, this is what I do. This is where it fits. And this is who I need to meet. These are typically the people I do business with. And, the extra credit folks will say, these are the people. These are the names of them. So right. This is how I can help you. For the suppliers, I think it's a little different. I mean, we had suppliers that have taken our cohorts that before they even finished, they're like, I got a return on my investment.
Yeah.
I followed your advice and I called that person and now I have a meeting with the buyer. I sat with the person I've been trying to meet with at their event. And so I think for the suppliers, it's going to be increased dollars, increased connections that last, like they're going to build meaningful relationships that last, and they're going to increase their visibility in the network.
The great things about Merck is that they're constantly looking for ways to support as many of the people involved in supplier diversity as possible, right? So it's not just the suppliers, it's not just themselves and their procurement team and the company as a whole, but it's also the organizations. They're so good about also trying to figure out how to support them. And I gave you a little bit of statistics before and some math that of the attrition is a big, huge cost to a lot of these diversity organizations, the loss of suppliers year over year who don't recertify or who don't come back or don't attend the conferences. It's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for a lot of these organizations. So one of the beauties of Merck doing this and getting suppliers who are more engaged is they're going to keep recertifying. So Merck is now, Merck and Raul and Cheryl are now supporting a diversity organization through educating the suppliers, right? So that's a great metric to keep in mind. So to your point, to your next question, who should do it? Who's the best candidate for Diversity Masterminds? We typically think it's people who are recently certified to up to about 4 to 5 years that are really still kind of frustrated. They're like, we did all this work to get certified. Maybe they were smart and they outsourced it to certify my company, but they did all this work to get certified and they're like, and that was it. And I've registered or I've done this, but it's the people who really want to use this tool that they worked so hard to get. And that's who should sign up for Diversity Masterminds.
That's perfect. And do you believe, honestly, that it's, they're all well-intentioned, but that it's really about crystallizing their message? I mean, what is it that people take away?
It's a really good question. And we actually, since 100% of the people who have taken the class recommend it to other people, we actually have their testimonials on our YouTube channel. Perfect. So you can see what they get from it. But picking out the themes, I think they have a strategy. When suppliers are new to this, they have no idea what they should be doing, or they're like, I get emails all the time and I'm overwhelmed. Should I be attending that? Shouldn't I? They have a strategy so they know what they should be doing. And they also get this insider look from us that gives them a lot of confidence when they go to something. So whereas before they could be like, I know I'm supposed to go to this. I'm not really going to talk to anybody. I don't know anybody. You know, I'm not at the cool kids table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now they're like, okay, I've created my own cool kids table with the other people in my cohort. And so I think that combination of strategy and confidence makes it so they can't lose.
And I think that's interesting because I thought you said first competence. And I think there's a level of competence that comes from this kind of dialogue as well. And then the other thing I want to zero in on before we go is this idea of building community. And it just occurs to me from talking to both of you, that's really what we are talking about, is building a strong community and a foundation based on things that can actually work instead of pie in the sky ideas. And a lot of times the people that we're talking about, they're talking, but they're missing each other. They're passing each other.
Yes,
the words are not. So some of this is translation. And I think what you guys are doing is quite amazing. I'm excited about what's coming up on the recorded modules. I'll be front and center. And then looking at how it plays out with getting people to know how to sign up, which is, I'm hoping you're going to tell us that, you know, where they should visit, what website, where did they begin, you know, tell us now. And then, I think we should tell as many people as we can.
So I agree, we should tell as many people as we can. I also think that one of my favorite analogies for supplier diversity in general and certification, everything else, is the gym, right? People join all the time. They're like, I joined the gym. Where's my six pack, right? Or they go to the gym and they're looking around and there's these machines and they're like, and their eyes kind of glaze over. They don't know what to do with it. They're looking around, or they pick one up, then they pull a muscle because they looked at that guy and that guy did it that way. So then you get a trainer. And when you work with the trainer, they show you what to do for where you are, how long to do it. They give you all the steps involved, and then the gym is not intimidating. And that's what Diversity Masterminds does. We're like the trainers. So then the supplier diversity world is not intimidating, and they can do it. So anyone who doesn't want to be intimidated, anyone who's tired of saying, is it going to work? Like, they have two choices, right? They can either say, maybe it'll work. I guess I could sit back and hope it'll work one day. Or they can be proactive and sign up at diversitymasterminds.com and sign up for one of the cohorts and actually know what to do. Have the steps, have the roadmap, and have a strategy for their certification.
Bravo. Amazing. I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited for both of you. I hope that we can follow up sometime later in the summer and find out how things are going and success stories. And I can't wait. But thank you so much.
Robin.
Thank you.